Hello my friends, welcome back again to a new chapter of our story and our videos with me. This time I would like to talk about Montblanc, an argument that many times I used to avoid because I always thought that it was maybe even too easy, too predictable to talk about Montblanc, but this time the focus of my attention will be pointed to a pen that I really love, the Heritage series. I have posted on Instagram very recently about that. That's why I thought that it was important to talk a little bit more about it. In my hands, there is the first one that started the series, the Heritage 1912, which is really my favorite of all. It's quite a small size pen, but thick in diameter, and the heart of this pen is the piston filling system associated to the retractable nib system. But first time I saw this pen, what attracted me most of all was the performance of the nib, which I found to be one of the best in Montblanc. Because the nib is maybe it's small, of course, in size. It's not a huge nib, 14 karat, but it really works amazingly well. It's a little bit softer than the usual Montblanc we are used to, especially Meisterstück series, of course. I believe we all know very well. And it's really has a good feedback, and what I've always found amazing about this pen is the reliability with time. It's the pen I clean the least, and it always writes. Whenever I put aside and took it back after even many weeks, it always writes immediately and perfectly. This is a fine nib I choose for me. I usually write with extra fines, as many of you probably know already, and but at the time it wasn't available with this pen. Now it is, and that's why I will swift to the most recent of the Heritage series, the Egyptomania. The octagonal shape of the pen is absolutely gorgeous from my point of view. The hieroglyphic engrave on the cap, it's amazing, and it does mean Montblanc. That's really curious. And but I was saying about the octagonal shape. As many of you will know, that's a shape I really love, because I've made many of my exclusive pens with Visconti are named octagonal for this reason. So it was quite. It was very. I was immediately attracted by this shape and this pen. The nib, it's the one I love. The shape, it's the one I love. The thickness of the pen, because the only thing I didn't like about the Heritage series, especially the Rouge et Noir, was the slim size of the pen. But this one, it's not huge, but the octagonal shape makes it thicker than the Rouge et Noir, as you can see from this section. I hope it will be useful to take a look in this way. Maybe it's more evident the difference in the thickness of the bodies. The engraving on the nib also is exquisite with the scarabeo, and all the finishes of the pens are made in a way to look at vintage, and it's piston filling, of course. The pen is very light. It's lighter than the Rouge et Noir series, especially this marbled one and these other ones, because those two had some parts in lacquered. so in metal, and some in resin. While this one is all in resin, and it's immediately reflected in the weight of the pen, that is really light. So what can I say? I really enjoyed this pens, and I found it to be one of the best from Montblanc of the recent times. Even this classic Rouge et Noir with the snake one or the spider, they're both amazing. The orange color, it's really great on the spider one with this yellow gold trims. But let's have a look, trying a little bit at the nibs. I will make a little sample for you of the 3 main sizes that are available on this series. I will start with the medium. Let's dip it a little bit just to try. So we have medium nib. It's smooth. It goes very well. It's so enjoyable to write with. Really, it's great. Wow, it's even better. I shouldn't say, but it's even better than I thought. Then let's see the difference with a fine tip. Of course, dipping the pen in this way, it will be a little bit wetter than the usual flow you would have on the pen, filling in the correct way. So fine, which is exactly as mine. I have to say, okay, that of course I know perfectly well, but it's smooth, and that's this slight feedback. Because the nib is really soft. It's softer than Meisterstück. So it's really great. And the final try will be with an extra fine. Which is not easy to find. On this series, you have to order it quite has a bespoke nib, because you won't find in the usual series, if you go to the websites and everything, you won't find the extra fine, so you have to ask up for it to have it. That's what I usually do, because when I found out that there was this size, if I just asked for it, I immediately do it. And look at this extra fine. It's smooth, but it's really fine. It's exactly how I wish an extra fine to be. Because for me, an extra fine must always remain smooth and soft, but without, even if it's really difficult to find, without losing the width for which it's born. So it must be really fine like this, but not scratchy. Even if a little bit you will hear, but you have to hear it. And there is some even slight flexibility on this nib. It's not a flex, but you can see there is the hint of a flexible inside. So if you have a good hand, you can really play with it, even with some sort of calligraphy touch. So that's the end of the review of the Heritage series from me, and I really hope that I have helped some of you deciding if this pen is suitable for you or not. if you have any questions, do not hesitate to point out to me those. And I hope really in this dramatic times, thrilling times with this horrible, hideous infection, that you all stay safe in your houses, and I hope we will have the time and the chance to meet someday in a very in open air maybe, or even if you come to Rome, I will be visiting you. But really, I hope we will all enjoy a better time. See you at the next video. Bye.